When you're doing this, you're bumping into people, and you're not taking your horse for a ride. You're being taken for a ride, okay? You are simply a passenger, and so that's exactly, not picking on her because she's very focused and doing a good job, but that's exactly why Casey fell off. Casey is very capable of riding with that horse, dude. She's a great rider. But when you're so focused right here and all of a sudden the horse goes over there, you're not going with. She was doing her job. She was trying to build that. Not a bad, I'm not throwing rocks at Casey. I'm just saying that's what can happen. We get so focused. So I want you to start riding out there and start feeling here, but looking there. You always, when I ride a circle, I'm always looking almost 50% of the way around the circle ahead of me. If I'm riding a circle, I'm kind of looking right. If I'm at 3 o'clock, I'm looking at 9 o'clock. If I'm at 6, I'm looking at 12. That's just kind of a good way to think of it. So as I ride this circle, I'm looking this circle around me. And I want my horse to be soft and responsive. If you look right there, he kind of angled out. Here he's flattening out. You have 2 legs. You have 2 hands, you have 2 legs. All right, time to get difficult. Right? Your hands do 2 different jobs. Your inside hand, or first hand, determines direction and softness. I pick up this rein, and it determines my horse is going to look left, or going to ride left, or side pass right. Okay? And it determines softness. I'm going to wait for him to give. My outside hand determines leg speed and depth of flexion. How deep does his nose go down, right? So last night you were working on that 3-step stop. That's off your second rein. How deep does that horse's nose go down? So your first hand determines direction and softness. Your second hand determines leg speed and depth of flexion. Now, this will be on a test, but you probably won't take that test. Not today anyways. Okay, so, but don't forget it because it's critical information. Now, you have 2 legs. They also do 2 different things. The inside leg determines softness and shape, right? Helps the horse kind of arc his body. The outside leg determines direction and leg speed. Okay? The outside leg determines what direction we're going and how fast we're going there. Okay, so it's opposite of the rein. Inside rein determines direction. Outside leg determines direction. So they work together. The outside rein determines depth of flexion and leg speed. The inside leg determines softness and arc, which goes with depth of flexion. Okay? What do I mean by depth of flexion? How deep does his nose go when he gets soft on 2 reins? Remember, softness on 2 reins is not collection. Softness on 2 reins is just the horse's nose responding respectfully to the bit. Collection is the hind end pushing forward and doing all the rest of the work, okay? So a lot of very technical crap for somebody who just wants to go trail ride. So think of it like this. This leg keeps me from hitting the trees, keeps me from my knee hitting the tree that's over there. This leg tells him how to go faster and which direction to turn. If we're faced this way. If we swap around, they swap around. If we're going this way, this leg tells him not to hit the tree right there. This leg tells him to speed up, make that turn. Okay? It's that simple. Same with your reins. So on this exercise, and by the way, you guys, just, I mean, this is a confession. We bought the ranch 6 years ago, 5 years ago, almost 6. Yeah. And here's how important an arena is to me. We've had the ranch 6 years, and we're finally getting ready to build an arena. We do all of our riding outside. But my boys want a team rope, so to team rope you have to have an arena. So we're building an arena, not for training horses. I train all of the things we've done this week, I do out on the trail. All the things we've done this week, I do out riding around. That's where I do my work. I don't do them in the arena, because I don't have one. We have a round pen for starting colts. That's it, right? So don't feel like, oh man, this stuff is just arena. It's probably one of the most frustrating things that a clinician can go through is when people say, oh yeah, I got this list of exercises for in the arena, but I need something for outside. No, this is outside. This is outside, right? So, all right, so we're working this exercise. We're working on getting this circle, getting this softness. If you watch this horse, watch his body. He wants to shape it flat and make his circle into a square. Right? So right there you saw the corner. And he wants to throw his hip to the outside. Wake up, old paint. There we go. Get that nose down and get that arc. See his hip stepping to the outside? That's because he's not driving. Wake up, old Indy. Come on. And I want to get this circle right. So if I feel like his hind end is going to the outside, I need to drive forward with both legs and ease up on my hands a little bit. And look where I'm going. Look where I'm taking my horse for the ride. Don't be a passenger, be a rider. Driving forward. And Indy's going, look, we're walking a circle. What more do you want? I actually want a circle. If you drew a line, if you put ink on all four of his feet right now, and we walked on white paper, you would have two different sets of tracks. If you're watching close, his front end is here, his hind end is back here. He's not tracking up, which tells me he's not pushing off his hind end. He's not engaging his body. Wake up, fella. So we got to get that body engaged, get him walking forward. So now I've just ruined your circle. Because now you're not allowed just to ride aimlessly around in circles and think you're actually doing something. Now you actually have to feel that the horse is in a circle. Now, here's a good way to know if the horse is in the circle. Stop him. When you stop him, he finally stopped in his tracks. He finally squared up. If his hind end steps out, push him forward. Okay? If his hind end steps in, push him forward. Get your circle good, then get your stop good. Okay? This is the part you already did. We're just going back and hitting them again before we go to step 3. You walk this circle. I work one side at a time because I want to get my horse in a pattern and a habit. Walk forward. Looking where I'm going. Stop. Good. Okay, now I'm going to stop stopping and start pausing. So I'm going to stop the hind end of my horse only. And as he starts to stop, I'm going to take my outside leg to position 1 and move his shoulders into the circle. With his nose looking into the circle. But I'm not going to bend him, because I promise you, when you pull on his nose, look what part of his body moved first, his butt. That's what's always going to move first when you pull on his nose. I want his shoulders to step into the circle. I want to create a rollback or a turn on the hindquarters. Okay? And the turn on the hindquarters needs to happen when the horse's hind end is up underneath of him. So he's actually making my circle. I look over my shoulder to the inside. I ask him to stop, and I ask him, whoa, that was ugly. So push forward. Why was that ugly? Because it was all his front end. Did you notice when I started to ask him to step over, What went over was his hind end went that way. He changed directions, but he didn't move his front end. I want his front end to move. I ride forward here. Put my leg on his shoulder. There. Ride out. His shoulder stepped over that time. Okay? Now when I ride out of it, I come right back. Why don't I let him stop? Because I want him to keep his momentum alive. This horse particularly is lazy. Like, this horse does not want to walk out. He's had enough. He's pretty lazy this morning. So walking forward. Now take my right leg, put it in position 1, and start pushing the shoulder over. Nope. I'm not going to release here. The hind end goes doing all the movement. Nope. Hind end's doing all the movement. There, he finally kind of moved his shoulder a little bit. So I'll put him back on the circle. Walk forward. What I'm asking for is this inside left front foot to step dramatically to the left. Take my right foot, put it in position 1. Ask him to hesitate, his hind end. There. When that front end steps over, ride off. Go right back the same direction I was going. Right back the same direction. Nothing changes because I don't have it right yet. I don't have it great. It's not perfect. So right over here. Keep it nice and soft and pretty. Now, right leg, position 1. You see right there when I did that, his hip started to swing out. And he started to just anticipate, so he's driving forward. Right leg, position 1. Cause the hind end to hesitate. Nope, 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 nope. Well then, Indy, if you don't want to get in trouble, my friend, you should think about moving. Okay, everything that's moving here is his butt. His front end's not going anywhere. I want his shoulder to move more than his butt. I'm not getting that. Right? I keep my leg there. I keep asking him to move. I'm not backing up. I'm not backing up. I want him to move the shoulder over. So my leg keeps asking. So right there he moves. Now, I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to ask him to move his shoulders like I did yesterday in the side pass and the lateral movement away from my legs. I'm going to tell him, come on. So I switched exercises for a minute because he's ignoring my legs this morning. So I'm going to go back and say, here, move off of my legs. Okay? And let's go the other way off of my legs. Come on. So when I'm pushing with my legs, he's saying he's pretty dull. There we go. So I'm just going to go back, just like I did yesterday, on any horse. When they're telling me no consistently, I'm going to go back and pick up what we did that should have taught him this. So he should be ready for this. Okay, now we'll go back to our circle. We had a little distraction. We'll go back to our circle. You're going to see me use my leg a little bit more because he really wants to lean to the outside of my circle. Take my right leg, put it in position 1. There, much better. Hind end stayed still, the front end moved over. He really wants to keep drifting out his right shoulder. So I want to get back to my circle, but again, right here, he didn't. There. He wants to push on me. You are looking for trouble and you are about to find it. Yes, you are, my friend. You are about to run into it. And if I do come off, I won't have no excuses. Alright? So, is it okay if you just watch? Absolutely. He's a great horse. He's just telling me no this morning. And he's in the habit, historically, of knowing what's best and telling Craig occasionally what might be best. And what would be best this morning is for him there. Actually, just a little bit I got after him before I got off. This is the best circle he's walked. He's actually walking a circle. He's not flowing his body out all over the place. He's actually following my leg and paying attention. Now, ask the hind end to stop and bring the front end around. Walk out of it. I'd like a 360, but right now I'm just short of a 180. But that's okay. Get the piece you can get, right? Get what you can get. Don't start with your goal. My goal is a 360. Well, great. How about getting one step? How about knowing for a fact that you've got one step good and getting that one step? So right here, I'm asking for that shoulder to step in. There, the shoulder in. Okay, so here we go again. Not going to do it. I'm going to run, put that rib cage back through. There. Okay. Let's do it. No, Dan, I'm not selling tickets. I used to tell people colt starting was like watching NASCAR. Nobody watches NASCAR for the race, they watch it for the wrecks. There we go. Good boy. Now you're starting to use your head. Yeah. It's not your fault. Your mama was probably a paint too. Yeah. For 14 years, I made my whole living riding a paint stud. Everything I did, I rode him. He did a lot of cool things for me, including put me on the cover of the Paint Horse Journal. I've been very, very blessed that way. My paint horse Bo put me on the cover of the Paint Horse Journal, and coming up in, move that shoulder, coming up this spring, my dogs got me on the cover of Western Horseman, along with Stormy. Yeah, my dogs, yeah. The dogs are really the reason we got on the cover. Stormy just happened to be along for the picture. There, good boy. We're gaining. We're gaining. I'm waiting for this horse just to step over with that inside shoulder. So sometimes you're seeing he doesn't really step over good. So I wait until I feel that front shoulder step over. And so what you may do if you're struggling feeling that is get someone to watch you and take turns with another rider. Right here, step over, there. That was really good because that time he was like, I'm not doing it. That was one of those little Johnny moments. You know, when little Johnny, the teacher told Johnny to sit down and he said no, and she said, if you don't sit down, I'm going to go get the principal. He said, well, I may be sitting down on the outside, but I'm standing up on the inside. That's exactly what this horse just did. He had a little Johnny moment. He said, I ain't doing it. And then he said, well, I might do it, but I ain't going to like it. Well, that's all right. I don't mind if he doesn't like it. As long as he steps that front end over consistently. That's what I'm looking for. Right? So consistently, I've been working on this now. That really needs to come to an end, my friend. If that bothers you that bad, huh? You ever seen a hand up here before? Yeah, look at that. Holy heck. Booger. Stop that nonsense. Back over here. So I've been working on this for 15 minutes and I'm still working on the same direction. I'm still working on getting it right one way, right? Pause that hind end and step that front end over. Now, pause the hind end. What do your two hands do? Inside hand determines direction. Outside hand determines depth of flexion and leg speed. In this case, leg speed is the critical piece. Okay? So we ride around here. We've actually finally got a nice circle. So we ride around here. Outside leg forward to position 1. Look at that. That was pretty nice, old son. Yeah. That was pretty good. Outside rein stops the hind end. The leg moves the front end. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Look at that, almost a 360. Not gorgeous, but it was there, okay? Now, will you knock it off? You are such a goober. You are a goober. Yes, you are. Think it through. If you need to get her done, just get her done, son. Okay, so other than our little spurts out to the side every now and then, we're really not going any faster than a walk. But he's sweating. He's sweating because I'm working that intensely. Have you noticed that since I went over and really worked his shoulders, we're suddenly getting spooky, right? Here's why. This is a key element. I really want you to hold on to this because he still wants out of work. 90% of spooky horses are lazy and they're looking for a way out. Yeah, God created you to go to the bathroom and move. You don't get to make those decisions, right? If you watch this horse, everything he's doing for the last 5 minutes is about trying to get a break and get his own rest at his own time without having to work hard enough to earn it. The spooking, the everything. Horses learn to spook for a release. What happens when they spook? Good boy, we stop them. So they learn to spook and find that release. Stop that hind end, step that front end around. Come on, step the front end around. Step the front end around. Step, no, not the hind end, step the front end. We got a half a turn. Here we go, let's get stupid. Wait, move that front end. You were doing so good, and now you're just not. There you go. Okay, and that's horses. You are a booger. You're being a booger. That's horses. They do good, they do bad, they make mistakes. You are just going to get in trouble here in a minute. He says, you've been saying that and it ain't happened yet. Move that in front. Nope, not the hind end. Move that shoulder over. Move that shoulder over. Go back, move that shoulder. There you go. Patience, by the way, you ever had one of those life-shattering thoughts? Yeah, I had one, and it's kind of provable. Patience is a decision, right? Don't believe me? Okay? You're at work. The boss is yelling at you, and there's absolutely no justification in it. What do? You keep your mouth shut because you like your job. Patience is a decision. You go home and stub your toe on the front door and you yell all about it because you're really mad at the boss, right? Patience is a decision that we make or don't make. So with me, I have to make that decision with horses. So here's how I came to realize it's a decision in my world. But I've learned that with horses, I have to tolerate it. Because if I let my emotions go where his go, it's just a disaster. So I have to tolerate it and work through it, right? And he's starting to sweat pretty good. And we're still not where I want to be. And you guys are like, well, we're going to sit here for half an hour watching one horse. Yeah, I hope you quit watching the exercise and started watching us deal with the horse. Because this is what happens. I want you to go home and realize when things go bad, there you go. It's not the exercise that's critical. It's how you deal with it. Good boy. Way softer. Nice boy. You're all right. Yeah. You're all right, Indy. Patience is a decision. People will tell me, Ken, I'm not that patient. I'm not either. I just know that's the only way I'm going to win. And I am going to win. Right? Like we went bowled last night, and I did not win. It's not a good moment. I'm not a sore loser. But I had intentions of winning. Right? I like to get my way. So I'm going to stay with it until I do. I'm going to stay with it until this horse is where he needs to be. Move those shoulders over. Good.